Hello, are we live? Are we live? 365, shake my hand. Welcome to another video, of course, on the channel. I quickly want to talk about this crypto war against the biggest crypto exchange, Binance, versus the second biggest exchange in the world, FTX. And as you see in the title of the video, does this stuff even matter? All right. And this is not the type of video content you're going to get out there right now, right? Everyone is panicking. Everybody's, making, an appropriate size deal or of how big a deal this is. This is very important, very crucial. But does it matter? And what I mean by that is a supply and demand trader. Does it matter? As someone who subscribed on this channel, does it matter? As someone who told you where and when to start selling Bitcoin on a trading platform 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, a week ago, and 48 hours ago on all my traders' war rooms, does this matter? Right. So in a short video, I decided to go live, right? So I didn't even announce on time, that I was going to be going on live. But if I'd done a pre-recording and edited this video, you guys would have received it after 10 days, right? So this is interesting because what I want to do in this video today is to finally put a nail in the coffin of why supply and demand is a much more superior approach to the market. I will be using the sentiment and the fundamentals right now that exists in the crypto market, and we're going to pair that with date, timestamps to supply and demand levels that already existed before this drama comes. You know the famous question, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Whatever the answer is to that question till today, I don't know and I don't care. But I do know that market structure comes first. I do know that supply and demand leaves clear buy or sell orders that will be used. So we're going to quickly, let me just give you context real quick. For those of you who don't know, I'm not your financial advisor. You never take what I say, to be the absolute truth. My past performance is not an indication of any future outcome. Trading and investing, involves a certain amount of risks. So you need to kind of be aware of all those things. What I'm about to say is simply what I'm doing or what I've done just an hour ago or in yesterday, actually, and again an hour ago. All right. You decide how you want to use this information, and you also carry whatever future responsibilities that is, right? That being said, don't forget to like, subscribe. It's very important that the algorithm know that there is at least one person on the internet who keeps trying to do his level best to tell you exactly what's going on, right? So CZ, right, in front of you there, you should be able to see it on my screen there. I'll just make it bigger for you, right? CZ is basically, everyone should know him by now. He's literally a multi-billionaire. He's the founder of Binance, right? So he started Binance. Binance is the largest crypto exchange in the world. It's the big boys of all big boys, right? And Binance has moved very carefully over the last years. I'm talking in developments, investments. If there's a new player on the block and that new player is promising projects, what Binance does is it partners up and invests, and by the sideline becomes a co-owner of these small things, right? So it's been really very good. Also great at constantly developing their platform for traders and investors, right? So for me, holistically, intrinsically, Binance has a team that has dedicated, its past, present, and future to the betterment of crypto, right? We saw Binance, stand up and make very important things during the Lunar crisis, or commonly referred to as the Black Swan crisis in the crypto markets, right? So they're a big player, but they're also a sober-minded player. They have not forgotten the core principles of crypto, decentralization. That's a very important point and a reason to what is going on. All right. FTX, I love FTX. I used to anyways. So I don't know. I'm split, right? I love the story of Sam Banks. FTX is the second largest crypto exchange, right? Sam Banks became this overnight billionaire through trading, right? He was an extremely good trader, made a whole lot of money, started a crypto fund, quickly moved around in different countries to do tight legislation, to avoid tight legislation, so as to develop and build a great team. FTX was one of the biggest crypto saviors in the last year. When Powell started to tighten the economy, increase interest rates, a lot of things started to fall apart. A lot of crypto players were falling apart. A lot of good crypto projects were dying. FTX was sending hundreds and hundreds of millions into different companies as relief funding, right, to keep those companies afloat during the bear market. To me, that was great. That's what I think every single billionaire should do. That's what I think every single millionaire should do. That's what I think every single human being should do, right? Help each other, all right? It's a simple thing, right? A candle doesn't lose its flame by lighting other candles. That's the whole point of this channel. Right. Now, along the way, I don't know when, I don't know how, I don't know why, Sam Banks, FTX, wanted to also spearhead, right, the run into regulation of crypto. I'm going to be checking if there's anyone who wants to talk to me on the chat, but I'm just going to assume there's no one in the room. But I see someone is there. Shake my hand. Thank you for joining me. Right. So FTX wanted to have a role, a major role in crypto regulation. As we speak today on the 8th of November, the biggest topic right now in Senate, in politics, is crypto regulation. As we speak today, US is going through elections. Whoever controls Congress is going to have a massive impact in crypto regulation. Sam Banks of FTX already pledged $1 billion to the 2024 US election. If I pay for it, I own it. That's how life works. If I buy a car, it's my car. If I buy you for the night, you're mine. Hey, never mind. But my point is, he's literally donating. Come on, man. $1 billion in an election buys you a lot of power. And all that power was around having a voice in crypto regulation. The problem with FTX, the problem with Sam Banks later on, we found out that he was pushing to move away from some universal principles of crypto. He was pushing to move away from decentralization. He wanted a centralized exchange with him, CEO or FTX, right in the center of things, controlling things. There'll be some protocols that will be decentralized, but a lot of things would need KIC documents. A lot of things would be linked to the Fed, to the government, and it would literally change the entire decentralization thing that most of us find extremely attractive with crypto. FTX, Sam Banks then started different wars with different influential crypto players. This has been going on for the last 2 to 3 weeks. All right, 2 to 3 weeks. Now, many years ago, when FTX was starting, Binance became a massive investor, right? A massive investor in FTX, and they bought a lot of, shares. They bought a big stake, right, in the company. They started to sell off their stake, I think sometime last year, and what was left behind was pledged in FTT tokens, so FTX crypto tokens. You know how Binance has the BNB coin, right? FTX has the FTT tokens. So Binance owned a lot of FTT, right, against the book of what was their equity, in FTX. So, yesterday or a couple of hours ago, I can't remember when, on the 6th of November, 48 hours ago, the CEO of Binance says, as part of Binance exit, we are leaving FTX equity last year. So we started selling off last year. Binance received roughly 2.1 billion USD equivalent in cash, BUSD, and FTT. So this is the FTX token. Due to recent revelations, the whole stuff that I just told you about, there where you're about to fall asleep there, right? Due to all that stuff, Sam Banks wanting to centralize the way they are pushing for regulation. We don't like how they are moving in the crypto space. Have come to light. We have decided to liquidate any remaining FTT on our books. Right, so that's millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, right, at the moment. Let me just quickly jump to the chart. I'm going to show you the FTT token. Right, so see what it looks like. Right, I want you to actually see FTX token kind of shrivel, literally just shrivel. It's a fascinating time, right? So I'm using literally the FTX broker, looking at TT. There we go. Massive, right? So this is obviously chaos. This is on the day, a long time to support demand, and you check out my weekly forex, stocks, crypto market signals. We'll use supply and demand from higher time frame sequence to actually see where price is going. I am on the monthly time frame of FTT. There is nothing, absolutely nothing to stop price from falling. But maybe there might be a retracement on the weekly time frame to catch it. I'm looking for demands here. There is also absolutely nothing. You see, the story of Sam Banks and the story of FTX, right, when it came to the markets was such a brilliant story. It was an innovative story. It was great for crypto. I absolutely loved it. I loved FTX. And what happened was this token pumped. This was one of my easiest big money makers back in 2020. It was a straight pump through, no breaks, no pauses. It basically pumped up until the all-time high of Bitcoin. Literally, it just ran like crazy. All right. Because of that, sometimes when price moves very parabolically, impulsively, there isn't enough time to actually build these. So we see them in structure. Right, we see PCPs, potential continuation patterns. We see order block formations. We see short-term counter trends. We see retracements on daily and weekly timeframes. That's let us know that whatever is being built, right, is being built in a way to support it on the day price falls. When you're painting a building, you put scaffolding around the building for the painter to move around. There was no scaffolding. If you see a chart like this, you know one day, and when that terrible day comes, all of this is just a massive imbalance that needs to be refilled. And you can see if there were demands, the last time there were any type of demand levels were over there in that particular area to hold price. So for me, this is a clear dead shot sell. I'm selling. If they will allow us, at some point they're going to stop allowing us to sell, right? But the point is here, weekly, monthly, no demands, and we're finally on the daily time frame, and pretty sure that company orders being at the back of our minds. Now these blocks here have any type of confluence in higher time frames, right? So I want to quickly continue our story, right? So they the CEO of Binance, went on to explain that we're going to try and do our best to minimize the impact to this in the markets. We understand market conditions, bear market, thin liquidity. We know what a big sell-off like this it does, right? We understand, that's what he kept tweeting. Like basically, he explained everything. We're trying to be transparent, why we're selling to the best of our knowledge, blah, blah, blah. There was a big debate. Fine. Now, let's come to our chart. Let's go to Bitcoin. I want to stand by the title of today's video. Does it matter? Does it really matter? I mean, the whole world is going crazy. Does it really matter? And I want us to understand why the whole world is going crazy. And I want us to agree that there's a better way of making money in the markets. There's a better way of fixing your perspective in the markets. And before we look at the Bitcoin chart, can we agree that this saga started 2 days ago? Basically on Sunday. This announcement was done on Sunday. I am making this live stream recording on Tuesday. It happened on Sunday. What I decided to do out of curiosity was to go back in time for the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and actually have a look at just Bitcoin headlines, right? What did the media want us to do? What did the gurus say? And what I found very interesting about Bitcoin, if I pop out here onto the daily time frame, I promise you this live stream is not even going to be long because it's not planned. The live stream is not going to be long because it's not planned. It's just that I don't know what to do with this information, right? So I'm just like sitting and biting, my fingers. I thought, let me just pop the camera on and record, right? So there was, and maybe even just before that, there was a lot of euphoricness when Bitcoin broke out of this descending triangle. All right, we can agree on that. A lot of people thought finally it's bottoming. Now, if you check the date and you remember, this is happening literally also on the same week or a week before, actually a week before, there is the heightened rumor that the Fed is going to pivot in December and reduce interest rates, which is another bullish signal in the markets. If you got your indices at this particular time on the chart, your NASDAQ, US 30, especially US 30. In fact, in US 30, one of my supplies got hit and I lost about $500 trying to sell, about 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, right? There was this massive euphoria in the market based on a an article on Wall Street Journal that implied that the Fed might be considering a Fed pivot point, right? So Bitcoin breaks out, risk on assets run, stocks are running, everything is good. I don't want to toot my own horn. 2 weeks before all of that, and the week after that, and the week after that, and very consistently told you that there is what we call a supply above this area, and Bitcoin price, unfortunately, I believe will not get past there. In fact, I implied and tried to persuade you to get ready to sell at those levels, because that's just how we are taught to see the markets. Okay, now while this was happening, these were, check the dates of these headlines. I mean, the ones 19 hours ago might have a different tone, right, based on what's happening. But if you start to really go back, that's a day ago, 3 days ago, just before Sunday, anything before Sunday. So I'm talking about 4 days ago, 3 days ago. Look at this. Bitcoin price prediction is staying above 20,600. That's bullish. They're trying to create a support, right? Can you see Bitcoin isn't dropping down? In fact, a lot of experts kept saying the bottom for Bitcoin was 17K, right? A lot of people are talking about the dollar, how the dollar is struggling, and maybe money is shifting into Bitcoin. You can literally come read these articles. I'm not making any of this stuff up. Bitcoin price and prediction. Here's why the NFP on Friday, this past Friday, today is Tuesday, there was NFP this past Friday. Was it this past Friday or the other Friday? I can't remember. I'll just double check. Yeah, I'm right. NFP was this past Friday, just a few days ago. And the article was like, here's how NFP is going to give Bitcoin a boost of 10% this past Friday, right? So we had a bullish, non-stop bullish news. Now, these articles create a sentiment for non-trained traders and investors who are generally driven by impulse, right? Impulse. On the link down below, there is a link just for trading psychology. Please sign up. And those of you who are registered, please, I'm waiting for you guys. Can we get a 50% enrollment so we can start, right? I've sent out all the emails those who have registered, but I digress. The point is, these headlines create a sentiment. The sentiment creates head mentality. You are forced to see the same thing as everyone else. This is all bullish. This guy, and I like him, I don't like him. It just depends on how much you know about him, right? I think he came up with a new prediction that Bitcoin was going to do 250,000 US dollars by next year. Another bullish sentiment. All of this happened. And if you keep going down and down and down and down, Bitcoin adoption, it's all bullish news. All right. So Bitcoin isn't falling because of a lack of bullish sentiment, right? And it's also not falling due to a battle between Binance and FTX, right? That's a big thing. It's a big mood changer. It's a big sentiment shift. But I find it absolutely incredibly interesting that the news of the two world's largest exchanges breaks out and they officially start to fight literally on Sunday was the 6th. This is where price was on the 6th. Price first arrives at a supply. And as soon as price arrives at a supply, I'm not making this up, you can see it for yourself, that's 6 November. A supply that we marked out 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. I did separate videos of this. A supply that was technically created on the 13th of September. Price arrives at a supply and then boom, we get this. Now, I'm not one to do conspiracy theories. I never know which events are coordinated and which events are not coordinated. I'm also very much aware that markets are heavily manipulated. I can't tell you if this is one of those events. All I can tell you today is if you're struggling with your trading, narrow down the noise and simply focus on your areas of value because they work. Price arrives at a supply and somehow the fundamentals tie in with the motion. Right now, I mean, after that, you've got this here, the CEO of FTX who tweeted the other day or just recently, I think, is trying to go after us with false rumors. FTX is fine, assets are fine. Okay, sure. A few hours ago, literally 1 or 2 hours ago, I was checking out the tape, and something that every trader should do. As soon as a new session starts, review the headline I've said this before in many of my live streams, right? So we just want to see what crypto is going. So crypto stumbles, losing 5%. All right, fine. We know why. On the crypto bank and talk of a halt in withdrawal. The CEO of FTX just say it's all good, everything is fine. Now we're learning that we have problems. So yesterday I withdrew. So I've been trading on the FTX platform. I announced about 2 weeks ago that I was going to start a back to the future crypto trading program where I'd be giving you guys, crypto signals. And I thought, let me just wait, man, and we'll do it next year. Thank God, right? Because I've been trading on their platform. I've grown an account incredibly well, right? So I never offer services until I have, a blueprint for how I want to run those signals. And yesterday I thought, let me pull some money out, right? Let me pull some money out. So I did 2 large chunk withdrawals, and then I did 1 small one today. The one I did today, I got a weird email, right? Telling me, look, man, we're having a few difficulties. The first 2 went through yesterday. But here's the thing. I don't know who's on FTX. This is not financial advice. But if you were my son and you ask me what I think you should do, as my son, I would tell you to get your funds out of the FTX platform, number 1. If you're my son and you're asking me what to do, and as my son, you had a crazy portfolio built around Solana, right? Solana, you guys know Solana, the other crypto project? Solana. Do you guys know Solana? Or there's probably no one even in the live feed, right? So anyways, comment down below if you're good on Solana, right? If you know Solana out and you were my child, like, and you're under 18 and I was your parental, advisor, I'll tell you to sell. Granted, on my public Telegram group, I told everybody a long time ago, I don't own any Solana anymore. Those of you in the world in 3 years, I told you, I showed you pictures when they're trying to control things in a lab, trying to control a whale's wallet, etc. And the reason why Solana is also in trouble is because FTX is heavily invested in Solana, right? So now this is how exchanges work, right? Not just exchanges, brokers, not just brokers, myself, I run a trading flow, right? When you get into trouble like this, and you no longer can process people's withdrawals, you now have a liquidity problem in your business. Once again, I'm not trying to drum up any fear, all right? I'm not trying to drum up any type of fear at all. I am simply saying these are the options on the table, and I thought you would want to know this information. When you run into your enemies, so to speak, like what Sam Banks said, and there's a war between 2 exchanges, if the war is not contained very soon, and I'm not even talking about within 2 weeks, if things don't get better this week, and FTX becomes under pressure, I make a video. I'm just a fly, guys. I have 500 subscribers, right? We deserve 1,000, but I only have 500. Please subscribe. But bigger channels, bigger channels, news articles, tweets like this. I mean, look at how many people liked this tweet or see. Well, when this information starts to go out, what that does is it creates panic selling. It's psychology 101. Something is wrong, go get your money. Simple. Now, more people running to FTX to get their funds will trigger much more selling than FTX might have. They might not have all that cash in one place right now. We don't know how much money they keep in cold wallets. We don't know how quick that process is to take that money out of cold wallets, convert it from crypto to cash, and give to clients making requests. We don't know how many people yesterday made withdrawals, today made withdrawals. But me telling my son, not you, because I'm not your financial advisor, to go withdraw, right? You can imagine that's going to create a snowball effect. Now, what happens as an exchange or a broker or a trading flow when your back's against the wall and you're facing liquidity is you start to sell other assets because you need money fast. Now, if FTX gets rid of one of its biggest stakes, which is Solana, then you're guaranteed that this is also going to crash. Okay, you're guaranteed this is also going to crash. But again, if you're following this channel, it doesn't matter. Bitcoin still holds the most dominance in the crypto markets. So we look at the Bitcoin chart to map out supply and demand. There is always slight divergence when it comes to Bitcoin and Ethereum. But if you look at Ethereum, most of the time she behaves and starts to follow the trail of Bitcoin, right? So this video is to announce two things. Number one, be careful. Number two, you decide what you want to do with your funds at FTX, if you have funds at FTX, right? Number three, just think around what FTX is investing in, because the dumping is going to be, wild. Number four, if you come back to our Bitcoin chart and remember the analysis that I gave you guys a while back, what about Binance and Edge? In what context? What do you mean? Do I think they're good platforms? Is that what you're asking me? Because I think VAL is just a trading, is a holding platform. Just please clarify what you mean there, brother. While I pull up the charts. Right. So with Bitcoin, I did a specific video about structure about 2 weeks ago with Bitcoin, and I said I would only take a buy. I dollar cost invest every first day of every month, depending on when it is. If it's on a weekend, then on Monday of the 3rd of that month, boom, money goes, right? It's just how it works. So when I talk about buys, investment buys, I'm talking about trading. I told you guys that I'd only take a buy inside this demand here, only if markets came to this demand before arriving at that supply. On record, on God, on this channel, I said it, I marked it out. Then I said, once price leaves a supply, following the great and beautiful structure, my red arrow is still in play. But I'm that idiot who believes that Bitcoin is going all the way down to 10K, 12K. I still stand by that, right? This didn't shake me not one bit. Okay, the very fact, and this is another trick. I did a video on reading liquidity levels. I told you guys a basic schematic, right? It's going to get complicated in module 3, but this is a basic schematic where you create support, resistance, and then you do grabs in between, right? You can see they did the same thing there. Create equal highs just above a supply. I spoke about it in previous war rooms, and that play worked out. There are no buys that are going to work here. And if they do work, they'll be very short term into a new supply. I expect this to continue going down unless there is an incredible shift in sentiment. I'm literally talking about Binance coming out and saying, no, FTX and Sam Banks are good people. We're not worried. We're just doing a business deal. But I think it's too late for that. A lot of people now know what's going on, all right, about the regulation stuff. But you've answered already. All right, cool, Alvin. Listen, sorry, my mic keeps falling here. Right, guys. And then the last thing, maybe before I disappear, I just want to make sure I've got everything down. Protect your capital. These are weird times. We're still in a crypto bear market. Never get too excited by silly breakouts. This means absolutely nothing, right? This means absolutely nothing. Today, we're having midterm elections in America, right? The general anticipation is markets generally rally after that, right? Normally, but results might not even come out today. They might take a month, right? So we're gonna have to play it per supply, per demand, per higher time frame trend. That's all. We're gonna wait to see the first daily supplies taken out before we can conclude prices going up. We're not gonna be emotional about this stuff, right? But Thursday is a big day. Can I just show you something before you guys go? Can I just show you something? Thursday, look at the audacity, bro. Look at the audacity of these guys. You know, if I was Biden, there are about 46 economists in the world who generally get consulted for these things, but they're spread out, right? Bank of German, Bank of this, 7 banks in America, like all these guys, these are the experts who come together and then they make a forecast, right? Because they are our experts, all right? Now, if I was Biden, right, I would fly every single one of these guys into one room, beat them up with the belt as the president of the United States, and tell them just to say the expectation for CPI this Thursday, right? This Thursday is 8.2%. That way, you're guaranteed a win. Because if you look at the history of CPI, the year-over-year rate, right, it's always a miss by, a very small decimal point, right? So the last time the focus was 8.1%, we got 8.2. So again, inflation was hotter than expected, even though 8.1 would be still hot. Check the audacity out. right? These guys, once again, are hoping that inflation is much lower at 7.9%. Okay, I would have simply, if I was one of those experts, I'd have argued, let's just keep it flat at 8.2. That way, when inflation comes out at 8.1, if their goal is to save the stock market, right, against the Fed's wishes, then it's just easier. I feel like 7.9 is a big jump. All right, I'm happy to be wrong. All right, if the data comes out at 7.9, 7.8, we can expect an incredible, relief rally, because the anticipation then is inflation is cooling off, the Fed is doing its job, the rate hikes are working. Maybe we are now close to December where the Fed will actually do a pivot pause. All right, that's what that will mean on Thursday, if I'm not here to give you guys an update. But for the most part, if this is a miss, if we move from 8.2 to 8.1 or 8.0, then inflation is too hot. It's still too hot, right? You're not even getting the expectation. I just don't get it, right? But watch out for this. Right now, if inflation comes out too hot on Thursday, which is about 48 hours ago, and I'm really hoping that this will melt. I want to clear this level. Everything that's marked green, my desire is to clear it. Why? Investors and traders in the markets, you can tell, have poor psychology. Once we remove everything green here, they will have no choice but to capitulate. I am saying this as someone who represents people invested in my company for my own portfolio. So of course I'm biased. I'm biased to the downside right now, right? The reason why we've struggled, look at this, we keep struggling here, because people keep drawing unrealistic lines of defense, right? They want crypto to stay there. They want 17K to be the bottom. They want 19K to be the bottom. They won't stop writing these stupid bullish articles day after day, hour after hour, to get people to use their hard-earned money to pump the price. But it doesn't matter. You can delay the process, but very rarely can you change the direction. We need price to meet an unanimous, massive set of unfilled buy orders. For price to do that, we now need to get to a governing demand, which is all the way down to 12,000 US dollars. You might save the market today, right, and delay this bear market's completion for the next year. We will be back here. Markets never leave unfilled orders. Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin did something in 2017, 2019, went all the way down here in 2018, went back to the supply in 2019, and you would want it to go back up? Hell no. Went down, boom, COVID came, pushed price down. Powell opens up the printing money in March 2020. Bitcoin came and claimed buy orders as low as 3,000, 4,000 US dollars, 3,800, 900, and then went up. The next reserve of unfilled orders is 10,000. We get that. We get the 100,000 coin. We get these orders filled. We get the 200,000 coin. But there is no point in rushing the process, or also, investing blindly, right? So if you're dollar cost averaging, good for you. But if you're selling your house and going all in, thinking that this market is going to pump because of a stupid article, you are going to experience the greatest type of emotional damage while other people make money. There is not much, ladies and gentlemen, that I want to get into right now. I think I am done. Watch out for capitulation this week. Keep reviewing the tap. Once you see an exchange holding withdrawals, it's a dangerous sign. Liquidity is a dangerous thing, right? I don't know what I clicked on there. Liquidity is a dangerous thing. You cannot play with my money. You cannot play with people's money. People want their money. When they want their money, you have no choice but to give them their money, right? Even if it means selling your house, right? Taking money from your child's education trust, right? Losing your billionaire status as Sam Banks. It's going to happen if that's what it takes, right? So first of all, FTX is going to start calling back on all those loans they made to Voyage and all sorts of things. Then they're going to start to dump some things like Solana, I'm assuming, etc., etc. But if that's still not enough to cover what they need for customers who want their money, as they take their money and run to Binance, right? Because obviously the clear winner here is Binance, which is still the largest #1 crypto exchange, right? So I'm gonna I've got a Binance account, right? But I wanted to keep trading on FTX. FTX had a mirror platform, so it was basically like trading on TradeView. It was brilliant. I don't think I've given up on trading on their platform yet. I'm just taking a step back, right? But I'm just simply saying that flow of capital leaving will cause even someone who doesn't care to capitulate, to sell their stake, right? To get rid of that FTT coin, right? So I thought this would be important to bring up. As you can see on the day right now, speaking to you, Bitcoin is down, a good 6.5%. In fact, it's just given up all those gains, right, from the breakout, right? And someone is probably sitting there saying, no, Leroy, you're wrong. This drop in price is actually Bitcoin coming to retest the downward trend line. And if you see, Leroy, on your technical analysis, once price retests here, we are going to start flying again, right? And I'm pretty sure there are going to be articles like that. And you are more than welcome to take those trades if you want. Because again, I'm not your financial advisor, right? Those who are, and this was tight, guys, the area of competition here was absolutely ridiculous. I had 4 pending orders in this zone. None of them got triggered. I'm literally only in this sell due to scenario analysis, right? So literally the next day I was like, oh, damn, right? Price didn't make it. It's time to sell. But if you look very carefully at this date, it's still intact. This is not something that happens random. This is what we call, again, you got to, the link down below, there's a course on this stuff, literally where I teach for hours and hours thoroughly. Area of competition is an incredibly important thing in the markets because some people want to get in first, right? Binance got in first. A lot of whales got in first. Those of you watching, none of my daily signals, I can pull out my platform, none of my daily zones here. Well, even though we knew price was coming, right? This is literally, for me, it's very, very, very synonymous to almost like an original turn. I tried to see. So the only way in for me was through the 1 hour time. And obviously, I turned a simple swing trade. Granted, believe it or not, I'm still holding higher sells, from way up above. Not too sure for anything, but I am a swing trader, so I do hold quite a bit, right? But you can see here, on the H4 time frame, this is where those equal highs are, right? And we say, let price create a liquidity schematic. You can see it. I've taught on this. In fact, in the description of this video is a link written master day trade, and inside there, one of those videos will teach you this kind of stuff, right? Look at that, right? Clean, just clean. Place to take his money away or her money, whatever, right? So look at how close price came to this daily area of value and then changed its mind, right? This is H4. I was out. I generally don't like using the H4 for micro entries, for day entries. I use the 1 hour, but even on the H4 time frame, you can see, right? Price kept consolidating. This is a Talitha area, sideways movements, bearish engulfing pattern, and then boom, on the 1 hour time frame, I got in somewhere there, right? But the point is, it is not amazing. Don't trade and invest off headlines. Most headlines are there to trigger a synchronized emotional response to the markets. Something that we all understand, get us to see the same thing and do the same thing. Master supply and demand. That's the word of the day, folks. Thank you to everyone who joined me on the live stream. I absolutely appreciate you. Trade carefully this week, right? I can quickly look at charts literally for 2 seconds. And by the way, I did announce this and I'm making it known. We will be doing war rooms on Wednesdays for crypto, for the crypto markets. So we're on War Room 86 for Forex and indices and stocks. War Room 1 on the crypto market starts tomorrow. So every Wednesday, once a week, I will look at the whole crypto market space. I'm going to do this for the next 2 months, or do a video. So tomorrow's one will come out a bit late, right? For the next 2 months, so that those of you who decide to join the, Back to the Future Crypto Trading Signal Service Program, which will only start next year, January, you actually get a taste of what it is that I'll be doing and how it is that I see it. And if you think it's worth your $15 per month, right? So please do check that out on Wednesday. But for the most part, right now, I've not done anything, extremely new in the markets. Markets are literally are playing it safe as far as I know, based on the midterm elections. Let's go to the daily time frame. Remember, Nasdaq dropped at a zone where I guys that I would not be selling, I would not be doing anything, right? So there was a zone here, and the pressure to fall just happened right after, FOMC, Nasdaq just tanked, right? Now, some this is day 3 of some type of gain in the market. Friday, Monday, Tuesday, we're starting to see, which means a lot of my previous sales, S&P 500, US 30, US 200, are going to encounter some interesting things. So either you take profits, you break even, or you wait and see, right? You can see this S&P 500 area arrived at a demand, price is going back up there. There's nothing I can do, right? Midterm elections will always create rallies. I've said this before. And I'll say it again to you guys. UK 100, same thing. In fact, here I think I'm completely tagged to a new sell, and I really hope this works out. But if it doesn't, then such is life, and I'm just focused on indices right now, only because they're the most sensitive, they'll get the most attention, and if we're right, we make a lot of money pretty fast. Here's your US 2000, right? Your Russell 2000. Tried to make contact with here. I'm still holding this one, but here I didn't get tagged. So this is a possibility, right? But remember, look at Bitcoin, right? You want price to, at some point, to at least distribute. Don't forget that. If it doesn't distribute, there is more selling or buying approaching your area of value. So in this case, there is more buying approaching my supply. And it's just a simple math. If there's 100 million US dollars, forgive my Rottweiler in the background, there's 100 million dollars of sell orders, but 300 million US dollars of buy orders. The buyers are going to smoke that supply. That's it. There's nothing you can do about that. You might not have that information of how to know what goes what. So you look at the structure, you look at the the distribution of price, right? Is price parabolic? Is price evening out, etc. Right. So it's bullish run right now. And remember, the last one we just spoke about clear dollar weakness, and we are hoping it's short term. I'm hoping it's short term. Because my thesis up until the end of the year is to be bearish, right? So you can see ever since there was the last change of character, this is my scenario analysis chart, right? Euro has just been very strong, and that's fine. Euro is strong because the dollar is weak. The dollar is weak because interest is going to be priced in on Thursday, right? We had a positive NFP, aggressive FOMC. Still, the dollar is falling. CPI data Thursday, right? So let price all these movements in, and then we see where we go from there. So this is what USD looks like on the 1 hour time frame. Another daily supply on USD was taken out, by the way. It's like prime. Everyone's walking their dogs in our neighborhood at this hour, so all my Rottweilers go crazy. Also reminds me I should take them out for a walk. Right, on the daily time frame, forgive me, this chart is a bit messy, but you can see there we've got another supply on our left, but we don't know if it's going to hold, right? So I'm saying this out, just break in our stuff, take profits, get out of the markets. We'll join them again the other week. It's completely up to you. But midterm elections is a big deal. It's got a false impact, right? It can do a pump then dump type of thing, buy the rumor, sell the news type of situation. There's still the inflation thing at the table, right? But this random, Binance FTX thing doesn't help the markets in any way, right? This is extreme negative pressure, right? And for you to come out and say everything is fine, a day later tell the world that you actually can't process withdrawals. So if this picks up, and this is happening, sorry, the last thing, the worst part about all of this is it's happening during the height of crypto regulation, right? The two largest exchanges are fighting at the height of trying to make a point to down politicians while crypto is here to stay, all right? So it's a bad look for all of us, but choose your exchanges wisely. I've got a little bit of money stuck now. We'll see if the 2 with requests that went through yesterday, if I'm actually going to ever get that cash, right? It's quite, I'd like that cash. I've been working on that account for a while. And then if it does, well, then we'll talk what to do, right? Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to sign up for the courses. And if you're already registered, enroll. You are slowing down the trading psychology choo-choo train, right? I just need 6 more people, and then we to enroll. So 50% of the 113 people who have already signed up, if 50% jump in, I can start uploading, because it's nice to do this with a group, you know, in one accord, right? 365, everybody. Wishing you guys all best. Take special care. See you on Sunday for the Traders War Room, or Monday. You know, I've been very bad at. I apologize, but it's been tough. And then those of you in my academy, registered students, see you in our platform when we discuss trading psychology for the next 4 weeks. Right? We already lost a week, guys. So please enroll as quickly as possible. Right. Peace and love, everybody. Have a good night. God bless. Shake my hand. I hope this helped. If it did help, don't forget to like. Peace.